Welcome back to the Williams, Elleby, Howard, and Easter YouTube channel. I'm Joel and this is Jared. And today we want to talk all things e-bikes, scooters, and alternative transportation when it comes to the laws in the state of Georgia, what's required, because I think we've all experienced, at least if you live in suburban areas like Kennesaw like we do, situations where a 12-year-old or a kid comes flying around on some sort of a dirt bike or scooter or e-bike or some sort of thing. And you're wondering, how is that even legal, right? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So those are the kinds of things we're going to get into today.
Yeah, so I think the best place to start is, what is an e-bike? You know, we all hear about them. I think if you have kids, they're probably asking you to buy them one. They vary in prices, but essentially under the law, they break down into three categories. Two of the categories, category 1 and 2, involve vehicles that either do or don't have pedals and go under 20 miles an hour. So that can either be one that doesn't have pedals and it's just a throttle that will take it up to 20 miles an hour, or there are some that have pedals that they're called pedal assisted, that you can pedal, if you get tired, you hit the button, takes you to 20. There's a third category that goes up to 28 miles an hour. Not much of a difference there, still the same concept. And then there's a fourth class, which is everything above 28 miles an hour. And everything above 28 miles an hour, at least in Georgia, is not considered an e-bike. It's basically put into the category of a motor vehicle. So it's subject to the same, licensing, helmet, registration tags, all of those requirements to be able to be ridden on the road.
Yep. So if you're a parent and you're thinking about buying your kid a alternative vehicle, an e-bike or a dirt bike or anything of that nature, if it goes more than 28 miles per hour, you need to think extra careful about whether your child, if they're 13 years old or 12 years old or even 14 years old, can legally operate that thing on Georgia roads.
Yeah, and I think, at least in my neighborhood, it presents this really weird question and a balancing act of, so you buy your son or daughter one, where do they ride it? If do you ride on the sidewalk? Do they ride in the road? Do they ride in the yard? Is there common places in the neighborhood where they might try to ride them? Newsflash, no neighborhood wants them riding in common areas, I can promise you. So that's a surefire way to get everyone all up in arms. But I think it is a real consideration of, yeah, they seem really cool, but where are you going to ride them? Because technically, pretty much all of the categories fall into either they're a bicycle or they're a motor vehicle. Contrary to what most people think, neither a bicycle nor a motor vehicle can be driven or ridden on the sidewalk. So, technically, bicycles should be ridden on the road following the rules of the road. So if you are going to buy your child one, be prepared for that kind of question in your mind of, do I want my child riding on the road? Do I have a neighborhood where it's allowed? Do I have a neighborhood where I feel safe doing it? And can my kids follow the rules of the road? That's probably the most important question. Will they stop at a stop sign, or will they pull out in front of somebody and unfortunately get ran over?
Yeah, and it's a question that we have to ask ourselves a lot, and it's a question that somebody like myself or Jared, that both grew up in very rural areas of the world. For Jared, it was East Tennessee and some holler somewhere, I don't even know. But for me, it was a dirt road in Southwest Georgia, and nobody cared. Like, you jump on your four-wheeler, you jump on we had three-wheelers when I was a kid.
Those are real death traps.
Yeah, but you just go and have fun and break bones and whatever, and it is what it is. But when you're living in a metropolitan area and your kid's out on a street that has cars constantly going on it, you really have to think about those things. Number one, like Jared said, if it is a bike where they are an alternative vehicle that goes under 28 miles per hour, a regular bicycle or a scooter or an e-bike, do they have the discipline and the common sense to follow the rules of the road there? And where you live, are you comfortable with them riding that apparatus on the road as opposed to the sidewalk? Because there's some roads where my 14-year-old daughter could get on a bicycle and legally ride it, but I would be extremely uncomfortable with her doing that, especially with people using cell phones and all now. But you also have to think about it from a liability perspective. What if you were to buy your child a motor vehicle that goes over 28 miles per hour and they hit somebody and hurt them? who's at fault in that situation, Jared?
That's interesting, and I think it's developing a lot right now in terms of where that liability falls. Likely, if you're, depending on the circumstances, but if your kid's flying down the sidewalk, I think that's strike one. They're on the sidewalk when they should have been on the road. If they're going fast or they're in an area where they're not supposed to be and they hit someone and hurt them, I think first and foremost, obviously it's not an insured vehicle, so no car insurance or anything like that would cover it, but you as the parent could have some liability there. I think, you purchased it, you gave it to them. Obviously, if they're 12, 13, 14, you have authority over where they are and what they're doing. I think it gets worse if there's been previous incidents or complaints or issues to where it starts to stack up to create, this idea of ongoing negligence that you're going to be responsible for, and likely fall back to homeowners insurance, I guess, would be the next place. So if your kid goes out and runs somebody over, very likely you're going to have a claim against your homeowners insurance in the near future.
Yeah. And all in all, just remember, in the state of Georgia, if the vehicle will go over 28 miles per hour, it is considered a motor vehicle. And if your child isn't a licensed driver, they probably should not, under the law, be driving that to begin with. Practically speaking, you have to really know your child and know their ability to follow the rules and whether they will follow the rules, especially when you're not looking over their shoulder when they're riding the e-bike down the road. And also to inform them of what the laws are and what's expected, because there are places, there's dirt bike tracks that you can take your kid and pay 20, 50 bucks, whatever, and go to town. Have fun with it. But in neighborhoods, it's not always the best or safest place to do it. So just be careful so you don't expose yourself to liability for something that your child does or something that you have done by providing your child with a motor vehicle that could expose you to liability or hurt somebody or them in the future. Anything else about scooters, e-bikes, motor vehicles?
No, I think that's it for now. We'll see what happens over time because it's still developing every day.
That's right. All right, well, we appreciate you spending some time and watching this video with us today. Hopefully it's been helpful. If so, give us a thumbs up, hit that like button, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.
As personal injury lawyers, we love what we do, and we're happy to share the experience we've gained in personal injury law. To help our family, friends, and YouTube subscribers, we've shared over 300 personal injury videos covering various injury topics. So if you'd like to gain more knowledge that may help protect yourself or a loved one when you're on the roads or out in public, check out our channel or view our playlist of shorts for quick personal injury tips.